Good, whatever time of day it is you happen to be listening. This is the P&A Podcast Express, brought to you by... He's Adam Filkins. I'm Phil Nickel. We'll edit that and post and put a sponsor in there.
Oh, okay.
Wait, never mind.
We don't edit.
Excuse me. It's the P&A Podcast Express, brought to you by, as I said earlier, but we're here live at the world famous...
We are.
Palm Street Studios. It's just Adam and I here tonight. I look over and nobody's at the crescent table over there.
You know, we have been blessed the last several weeks with full chairs over there.
Very much so. Our cup runneth over.
Yes.
But now this evening...
Our cup is empty.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's the Wednesday edition, though, however.
Wednesday.
The 1 year anniversary of us are recording our 500th episode.
So that means in a year's time, what has happened?
We've gotten worse.
Yeah, we're not original anymore.
We suck.
What are we at? We've recorded like 160 episodes.
155, because this is episode 655.
Oh, yeah. So 155 episodes since then.
Yeah.
And
we've opened the Palm Street studio since then.
Yeah. We talked about it at the 500th.
I said April 1st.
April, 1st.
Yes, April, 1st. FIRST, not April 1.
Right.
As a date. So we got through April 1st, and then we were actually here in late April, though, to open the studio. So that was ahead of schedule.
You were ahead of the deadline.
Which is very impressive for me, because I'm not going to lie. I kind of tend to procrastinate a little bit, somewhat. I mean, why do today what you can put off till tomorrow, right?
That is true.
So what's going on in the world? How you doing?
You know, I'm living the dream. May also be somewhat of a nightmare. I'm not sure, but you know, living the dream. How about yourself?
Oh man, I'm great. I'm just great.
I am so full of fish and chili.
I took one of the most massive dumps this morning I've taken in a long time. Like, I could feel it. I could just feel it. I'm like, ooh, this is a grumper. Yeah. Like, I could just tell. And then I looked and I'm like, oh my Lord.
Thank God I got the bidet.
Right. Oh my. Like,
well, you know, at least you do have that for those big cleanups.
At least things are still working, because I was wondering when the other shoe was going to drop, because I ate a lot of food between Friday night and Saturday, between the chili and the fish, and I don't think those two things liked each other on the way out.
Well, it doesn't show yet, but I've actually lost quite a bit of weight since my procedure.
Yes.
But the last 2 days, I've probably put a dent in that number.
Creeping back up.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
We're working our way back up to the other side of the scale. Moving on up. Oh, wait. That's where they would normally chime in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Jobu, you disappoint us.
Come on, Jobu. Jesus, I like him very much, but he don't help me with curveball.
Maybe I should zoom in on the Hall of Fame.
That'd be all right. Just put that up on the screen and show everybody what we're dealing with here. What we're looking at here in the studios, because a lot of times you realize when people are looking at a camera or talking into a camera, you don't see what they're looking at on the other side of it. Is that correct?
Correct.
Whereas here at the Palm Street Studios, we feel like we like to offer total transparency. So the camera pointing the other direction is actually what we're looking at.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right.
So we kind of pull back the curtain a little bit, I feel like.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because a lot of times when they pull back the curtain and they look, all you see is, is there a fly? Is that a fly? There was a fly in that frame. I'm like, what's going on there? I'm
going to zoom in on on the Hall of Fame so that we can bring them in.
All right. So we can bring them in.
They're quiet, but they're good guests.
Yeah, let's add them to the mix, right?
They don't create a lot of mess. There we go.
There we go. The Hall of Fame, the podcast Hall of Fame. What say you, Hall of Fame? Okay.
Good on you. Good on you.
It's all right. It's all right. That's quality. That's quality. So any gear grinds?
Well, no, it was such a damn good weekend. How do you have a gear grind about that?
It's tough. We drove by P&A Island yesterday, and I almost announced it to the kids, and I'm like,
Yeah.
how much yellow paint do they use on that motherfucking thing?
I don't know, but it's all coming off. Did you notice that? It's like
Yeah.
already peeling.
Like, how much yellow paint did they use on that thing?
Not enough.
Well, maybe they coated it too much, so now it's like, and it didn't stick because they didn't let it dry, so now it's just all
8 coats.
like, we put 8 coats of yellow paint on P&A Island.
Better put 2 different kinds of yellow on there in case somebody's yellow blind.
Yellow blind. These yellow blind yellow bellies around here. Ugh, fucking assholes. So yeah, P&A Island still there.
Yeah.
All these.
So I did notice somebody today that turned right on red at the Four Corners, even though that's a no-no now.
Nice.
How many years is it going to take for people to break that habit? Because I almost did it the other day.
My guess is 4 to 30.
Yeah, I'm going with the over on that.
What I want to know though is it says as you're rolling into town, it shows a pedestrian crossing sign, and they're all over. They're ubiquitous in Sandusky anymore. You can't even, like, I bet you if you could throw a football, you could hit 3 of them at once.
They're doing that everywhere.
But it says fines doubled. That's all it says is just fines doubled. It's got the pedestrian crossing sign and it says fines doubled.
For what?
Yeah, for what?
Hitting a pedestrian?
Right.
It's like I would think,
it's just human nature. Like, I've never wanted to hit a pedestrian on purpose.
you know, has anybody ever hit a pedestrian crossing at one of those things and gotten out and been like, worth it? Hell yeah, worth it.
Woo! No. But I just. So I got to know, though. So are the ones in Sandusky going to be like the ones here in Deckerville where there's 2 of them? There's one by the school and there's one actually down here by Brown's.
Well, no, they've got one every 5 feet.
But all I'm saying is you are supposed to stop for if pedestrians are ready to cross. You have to stop.
Yeah.
So that's actually true at those ones in Sandusky too?
I'm not sure
For
about
all
that.
33 of them?
Well, that's the crazy part is
Like, how the fuck is traffic ever going to move through this fucking shit town?
it wasn't basically any corner or crosswalk.
Yeah, yes.
And now in Sandusky, like some of them are not. They have arrows pointing to where you should go as a pedestrian.
It's getting very confusing to walk in Sandusky.
Sandusky is very confusing.
So I do know in Deckerville, the one day I wasn't paying attention and school had just let out. It was during COVID times. I had not driven around this town during school let out time very often. And I happened to be rolling through by the school as somebody was waiting to cross at the crosswalk, and I did not stop. And I had a person go, and I had another person flip me off, and I had another one go, like, throw up their hands, like 3 straight cars, like, sorry, I didn't know. I wasn't speeding or anything. I just didn't. You've got to, like, come to a screeching halt.
So do they have a sign up stating that you're to stop for pedestrians?
Oh yeah.
Because it's only if they're in the crosswalk that you're supposed to stop.
No,
for
these
them.
people were waiting on the sidewalk.
Yeah, that's not the way that works.
Well, these people dirty bitched me then and made it like I was a fucking devil because of what I had done. Like, yeah, like I was waiting for the police to stop at my house because these people looked that disgusted that I had.
So there should be signs there that say must yield for.
Or what the fuck? Back in the day, didn't we used to have a crossing guard right there by the school?
Well, a school should have. Sandusky still
So
does.
what the fuck? Deckerville apparently doesn't. They just let them raw dog it out there by the fucking playground. And then I get fucking dirty bitched when I drive through there. Only doing about 25 miles an hour, but I didn't stop for somebody on the sidewalk that was waiting to cross the street. Where the fuck is the crossing guard?
You know, that's like they put a stop sign on the left side of a school bus when it stops.
Yeah.
but nothing about passing it on the right. So I think that's safe.
So I'm not going to participate in this joke. Do not pass the school bus on the right when the stop sign's not going on the left and the red flashers.
I didn't see it, officer.
Jesus Christ.
That's when you hit a kid and you get out and you're like, worth it.
Woo! No.
I'd have paid triple.
Great. Now we're going to have all kinds of pedestrian crosswalks and no turns on red and pedo islands around here. And we're out in the middle of the country.
That's all right. Take my license. I didn't want to get taxed by the mile anyways.
Jesus Christ. Fucking assholes.
There's a bitch for you. How's that going to work?
I don't know. Why is Gretchen Whitmer still in office?
I don't know. She's
after she fucked us. What hasn't there been a re-election since COVID? And did she get re-elected? She did,
yes.
Didn't she? Who the fuck is asleep at the wheel for this shit?
All of Metro Detroit and Grand Rapids.
They love stretching Gretchen.
They do.
Because they continue to get all their free money.
Yes.
And all their benefits. And all their money when somebody crosses at a crosswalk, when natural selection is no longer in play and they get hit by a car and they can sue the fuck out of people.
So here's another question for you.
Right.
Have you seen what's going on with the Renaissance Center in Detroit?
I have been so oblivious to the news. I was talking to somebody today, and apparently Canada's getting ready for us to invade or vice versa. Have you heard this?
Yeah,
Have you seen this? Have you seen this? What's going on with the Renaissance Center?
So apparently they want to tear it down. GM is no longer in the Renaissance Center. They moved to another building that they built in Detroit, which seems stupid to me. But the Renaissance Center, which is the largest building in Detroit, the staple,
tallest, yeah,
it's the tallest. It's
looks like a penis with 2 balls,
4 balls,
4 balls. Yeah, they got 4 balls around it,
and there's actually like 7 buildings to it. So
yes.
But I mean, I don't know if you've ever stayed there, but it's a great building.
I've never stayed there.
It's a great building.
So why are they? What's their? Why are they trying to tear it down?
Well, they say there's not enough businesses in it. So what they want to do is spend like $1.7 billion to tear it down and then build something else there that will cost more money on top of that. And it's like, why would you tear that down just to build something else there? Just don't use the top half of the building or something. Why would you go to all that expense and take out the largest building in Detroit, the nicest building,
yeah.
You know?
I don't know what.
It's baffling to me.
So what's at play here? Who are the players involved? That's what you have to look at and follow the money. Because somebody stands to make a lot of money from all this.
Well, there's people that own it that, you know, GM's lease was up and they're like, yeah, we don't want to be here anymore. So they went to a whole nother building.
Huh.
And, you know, like I say, it's not like that building's dilapidated at all.
No, there's nothing wrong with it at all. Unless there's something they're not telling us.
Da, da, da. Could be.
Huh.
But yeah, they want to tear that down. So they want public funding to do all this.
Of course they do.
$1.7 billion in public funding. And you know that's not all coming from Detroit.
That's going to be from the whole state.
Yes.
What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?
So it's only going to cost every man, woman, and child in the state about $130 a piece to do this project. And that's not to build anything. That's just to tear it down.
Just to tear it down. And a perfectly good, useful building to tear it down. To tear it down.
Here's my thought. Take 3 floors of that.
Right.
And make it a homeless shelter way up top.
Yeah. Way up at the top. I like it.
You have a ton of homeless in Detroit. Not anymore.
Hey, well, we're moving on up.
Guess what else we did? We just saved $1.7 billion.
Fuck, man. We could probably house those homeless people on the top 3 floors for the next 50 years. Actually, next 150 years for 1.7. Next 350 years for $1.7 billion.
Yes.
350 years.
And they could eat at the steakhouse
Right.
down on the first floor every time.
They'd be getting vouchers. Could you imagine? They just show up in their burlap sacks,
Just
reeking of piss and
I was just gonna
ocelots,
say
and
their piss-soaked burlap sacks they're wearing.
And I have a voucher for a $50 steak.
This is my summer burlap. My winter burlap's got a lot less holes.
Not quite sure how to use the facilities up there.
I
just pee where I'm at.
They told me I could sit down to pee, but I just keep going in the chair because I forget.
Chair's the logical place. So, they want it to rent. That's fucked up about the Rensen.
Yeah, they want to tear it down.
Makes no sense.
And, I can almost guarantee when they do, because it's not, the plan is still in its infancy. It's not like this is going to happen in the next month or two. But they don't have any plans yet. My guess is they're going to say, well, now, you know what Detroit needs? We need a staple building to anchor our downtown.
We need one that scrapes the sky.
Yes. And then it's going to be, one big round tower with, probably 4 round towers around it. And it's going to look just like the Rensen.
That'd be fucking great. Oh, but wait, there's more. It is 60 feet taller.
No, what they'll end up doing is they'll end up just recycling all the materials, gluing it back together.
They miss all the homeless people that got destroyed that were in it when they so the homeless people are like spattered to the wall.
We want to welcome everybody to the new Gorilla Glue Tower.
That's perfect. Actually, that's beautiful. I'm sure Gorilla Glue's looking for all kinds of shit like that.
Yeah.
They deserve a world headquarters.
There would be the Flex Seal tape lobby.
Right? They've just got a wall where you can put on a suit and jump against it and stick.
Yeah. They have boat rides with a boat made out of Flex Seal.
Right? Bunch of Oompa Loompas running it. It's perfect.
Dear Lord. But yeah.
So that's really how we're living right now. They want to
let's just take a perfectly good building because how old? I'm going to have to look this
I would
up.
say it was built in the 70s. I'm going to say 70s. That's my guess. 1972, I'm going to guess. And I'm probably way off, but 72. Oh, boy.
Why is Detroit called the Renaissance City? Nobody calls Detroit the Renaissance City.
Ain't nobody ever called that shit. All right. What say you, Hall of Fame?
They're
Ooh, I've been waiting for that one.
They've been
Excuse me.
exceptionally quiet.
Exceptionally quiet.
Developed as an urban renewal project in the 1970s, the Renaissance Center was envisioned as a city within a city. Well, with all the excess of shopping malls, we know how well that works.
Oh, brilliant.
That would be a good idea. They could make some of the floors a shopping mall.
So I'm guessing it was built in 1981 then.
It was completed in 77
Oh, okay.
with 2 matching towers added in 1981. Because I can slightly remember when the Renaissance Center was brand new.
It was literally like the shining staple of Detroit. I remember that. Like, it was a big
still
deal.
is. I mean, I'm looking at the skyline.
Well, it is. It's the only part of the skyline. I mean, what the fuck other part of the skyline is there in Detroit?
So I'm going to bring this up so that have you seen this?
Have you seen this? Have you seen this? So there's that building off to the left. That one was probably one of the original. That's an OG building. That was built in probably the 50s or 60s. Nope, right there.
Yeah.
off to the left, just by the architecture. These two off to the right that are taller, those were probably built after. Those were built in the 80s or 90s, I would say. So that's the whole Detroit skyline. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much, other than like the I'm trying to remember what the one other big building is there that they,
I don't know. Dickie Doo's Tower.
Yeah. But yeah, it's I don't know, it just seems like a whole waste. They want to take all of this out.
But that's so much space for activities.
It is. I mean, when you look at that main tower is 71 stories tall.
Yeah.
And the four around it are 39.
So 71 stories. So it's what, 1,500? No, 1,400 feet tall? How tall is the RenCen?
Let me pull that up here and look.
Meh. So I'm going to say, no, probably 1,050. 1,050. How tall is it? 1,050 is my guess. On the tallest building in the RenCen. 1,050.
Let me see here.
Ba-doot.
I can't read it way up there.
I'm going to guess 1,050. Give or take. On the tallest, on the penis portion of the RenCen.
It is 5,522,000 square feet.
Oh. Oof. That doesn't have anything to do with height. It's an impressive number, though.
Height 750 feet.
That's it?
Yeah.
That motherfucker's only 750 feet?
Yeah.
That's weak sauce.
I'll tell you what, though, when you're up in one of those higher spots,
yeah.
We stayed down there a couple times for the wrestling state finals.
Oh, okay.
And when you're up, I think the highest we were was like the 37th floor. And
right.
even being up there, you're like, holy shit. That's pretty high.
You're pretty high up, yeah. So let's see.
Now, I've never been up to the revolving restaurant on the roof.
That's pretty sweet, though, yeah.
But that would soon not be on the roof anymore. That would be revolving on the ground.
Right.
So, you know.
So Willis Tower, Sears Tower in Chicago is 1,451, double, almost double. 1,729 to the tip. It says to the tip. Well, it's got a tower on top of it.
Yeah.
So really the RenCen is only half of what.
And that includes the tower on top of it.
That's bollocks. Detroit deserves better. Detroit should have something at least 1,800 feet
But
tall.
they can't fill this.
True.
I mean, maybe.
Should we do the podcast effect and try to get it filled up?
Yeah, if you're in Detroit and you have a business, rent space at the Renaissance Center. Save the Renaissance Center.
Or the new RenCen. We're going to double it in size and make it 2,144 feet tall.
I say we cut down on the girth.
On the what?
On the girth.
Oh, yeah.
Go high.
Too girthy.
Cut down on the girth.
Yeah. Just too girthy.
You can't hardly get around that thing.
I mean, let's make it what Detroit deserves. A 70 or an 80 foot long by 14 foot wide trailer just to the sky.
Yes.
Am I wrong on that? Single wide trailer, 14 foot wide, 70 feet long to the sky, 1,500 feet. That would be the monument to Detroit.
Yes. Yeah.
And then we'd never have to worry about space because...
We'll call it the M&M Tower.
Right. You got it. 2 trailer park girls run around the outside.
Oh, dear Lord. So, yeah, they want to tear that shit down, though. I mean, is it me or does that just seem like a complete waste? You have Ford.
This is what Detroit's been doing forever, though.
You have Ford that goes through and revamps the whole train station and all
Right.
that. Oh, let's tear down the RenCen.
Let's tear down the Palace of Auburn Hills. Let's tear down the Silver Dome.
I do wonder, though, because the couple of times that I've been there and stayed there, the whole bottom floor is like a GM history car show. They've got all these prototype vehicles. And one really cool thing was Jake Nemechek, the coach from K-Pac, he's a design engineer for GM. And there's been a lot of those vehicles that are in there. There were prototypes and stuff. And he's like, yeah, I actually worked on this. Like, I actually worked on this actual prototype. So there was a lot of really cool stuff down there. Some Corvette things that he had worked on. And
Right.
And he's got a badass Corvette. So,
See, what have I done wrong? I'm a design engineer too. You know that.
Yeah.
And I can't afford a pot to piss in.
You worked on planes. Yeah. He worked on cars, so he has one. You ain't got a plane.
I ain't got anything.
You got a studio.
Got a lot of debt. Got a Mini Cooper that I don't know where it is.
Huh. APB on the P&A pod.
Should we call the police and report it stolen?
Probably.
Do you think they'd like that? They're like,
what's that license plate say? P&A pod? Yeah, we're not falling for
yeah,
that.
fuck that.
We're not falling for
We're
that.
done with this. Siri just wanted to help find my car.
You don't
See,
need
Siri
AP.
wants to help again.
You don't need APBs like that.
Yeah. Knock it off.
Go fuck yourself, Siri.
She might respond to you. Or she knows my voice. So you just say the same thing you just said.
Go fuck yourself, Siri.
Go fuck yourself, Siri. She didn't respond to either one. So we're
Oh,
good.
well, she listens then.
Right. So she just is. She's like, I'm just over here fucking myself.
Yeah. I'll be back to you in a few minutes.
Satisfied. How about you?
I'm busy.
Oh boy.
Oh, dear Lord.
What else do we want to talk about? Just so much disappointment in the world right now.
There is. Well, and that goes back to the, wanting to tax per mile on a vehicle.
Could you? I'd be fucked because I drive a lot, and I don't know how I managed to drive a lot.
Well, me either.
Right.
I mean, I put a ton of miles on it. It's like, how? So, but here's a question I have. They say
So they say.
that this is in response to all the people driving Teslas that are not paying the gas tax, which those people already pay an increased fee on their registration.
It's a classic double dip.
But are they going to tax everybody or only people with electric vehicles that are skating that gas tax?
Classic double dip.
Because I'm getting very tired of being double taxed on stuff.
Because I could tell you what, we're going to go back to the old school ways. Back in the day, back in the old town, I remember very much. All you had to do is just hook up to the right thing on the back of an odometer with a drill, and you roll it back. And that's the business we're going to be in with shops. If you get taxed per mile, we can tell you how to roll your odometer back.
Yes.
I don't care that shit digital. We can do it.
I like it. We'll 3D print things to put on the end of a drill.
Yeah. And just that's the business.
Yeah.
You don't want to get fucked by Whitmer more than we already have. I'll show you how to roll your odometer back. So when she asks for an odometer reading and she's like, you only went 1 mile this year? Yeah, fuck you, bitch. Right?
Exactly.
It's kind of like when they ask you, how much did you pay for this vehicle at the Secretary of State? $1.
Yeah. So I haven't read the full proposal. I've only heard all the knee-jerk reactions from people about it. But if they want to tax people more that are driving electric vehicles, then do it. But here's the thing. Driving an electric vehicle is not that much cheaper already than driving a gasoline vehicle.
Right.
So are they just going to make people just not want to do that at all? Because I'm about to sell my vehicle and buy a decent side-by-side and say, fuck it.
Right? I ain't registered for the road, bitch, but I can be on the road.
Exactly.
Well, this is tough. I don't know. I've heard about this. I've heard about Stretch and Gretchen with all this bullshit about, wanting to tax per mile. But we already do that. We already pay. Okay. We buy something, we pay taxes on it. We own it, we pay taxes on it. We sell it, we pay taxes on it.
We pay tax on the income that we use to buy it.
Right. That's it. We pay taxes on the income we used to buy it. Then we pay taxes on it when we bought it. Just and continuous. Like, sounds like we should throw some tea in the harbor again.
I think it's time.
I think it's time too.
My right arm's still good for throwing.
This is fucking bullshit.
Unfortunately, back then it was just a tea tax. Now we got to throw everything in the fucking harbor. That harbor ain't big enough.
Right. Motherfucking harbor will be stuffed.
We're going to have to use all the harbors.
Every harbor you can think of. So, no, I'm having a hard time with all this. I really am.
Well, I don't know the stat off the top of my head, but I know it's under 50 cents on the dollar that you actually keep for yourself.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, at this point, by the time you buy anything, if you spend $1, you've actually spent less than 50 cents of it.
That's insane.
And now they're going to take away pennies, so we're probably going to be down to 40 cents.
Right.
Because everybody will bump shit up. Bump it up.
Bump it up.
So yeah, I'm not cool with all this. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I'd like to see it come to an end.
So how can we thwart this? What would it take? It would take voters. It would take something, because I can't believe that. Well, now, so we've allowed this crazy person to have the executive power to propose things like this, and if the House and everybody else, representatives and everybody else, votes that it can go through, it can go through. So how do we stop this? We can't.
I don't know.
There's no way to.
Well, there's two things you have to combat here. You have to get everybody who votes and all that to send a strong enough message that they want that. But number two, you have to go against human nature, which is to be greedy.
Right.
Because where's all the money currently going that they're spending on roads? That they're quote unquote spending on roads, because it's not going into the roads.
No.
And I'm looking this up here real quick, because it's grinding into me now.
It's really ground in. Really, it's in the carpets. It's fucking ground in that much.
It would apply to everybody. Apparently, they would repeal the gas tax.
Okay.
And go to a per mile road usage charge.
And what is the current gas tax in Michigan?
It's expensive. It's like 38 or 42 cents a mile, or a gallon.
A gallon. Okay. And what would be we're not winning, though. We're not, the consumer, the people are not winning in this. Because it's got to be a way to get more money. It's got to be a way to get more money.
They've spent $20 million to do a study on it.
Are you fucking
When I could have done it, I could
just put that $20 million toward the roads.
Exactly.
And I know that road construction projects aren't cheap, but $20 million could do a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, and then they may do a pilot program, which will cost $7.8 million after they do the study.
I've had enough. Have you had enough? I've had enough.
How many electric vehicles are out there that it's really cutting into it that much?
I've had enough.
When they're already charging more for registration. It's bullshit, I tell you. Bullshit. This part isn't even funny. Or fun. Or legal as far as I'm concerned. I don't like it. I don't like it, Phil.
I don't like it. I don't like it either.
It's a terrible thing happening.
So there's a 2026 governor's race. So next year will be the year, right? We have to get this crazy, dizzy, daffy.
Well, she's out. She can't run again.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that you're not going to get somebody who's exactly like minded.
How did she get to term limit out? What the fuck is wrong with you people? What is wrong with you people? What the fuck is wrong with you people?
We're talking to you.
I am. I'm looking right into the camera.
I don't know.
You know, I got to say,
Jeff just brought up a good point.
This is modern day race tension, though, because you know that other races of people that aren't white love Gretchen Whitmer. Am I wrong on that?
You are not wrong.
So this is like modern day the divide. And what did Jeff have to say?
There's also sales tax on.
Right. This is all bullshit.
So the Michigan fuel tax actually went up in January of this year to 31 cents a gallon for both gasoline and diesel.
Okay.
They've indexed it to inflation, which isn't that convenient. You shut down all the places that we can get oil, get gas from.
So they get to do that, but we don't with our employers to get raises for the money we make.
Right.
Great. Thanks, government.
So in 2015, the fuel tax was only 19 cents a gallon. So it has went up, roughly 80% in 10 years?
Roughly, yeah. And the roads still are not fixed.
No.
The one thing she ran on, the one thing she promised, actually one of the big things she promised. What a fucking bitch.
Yes. I'm going to fix the damn roads. Well, you should have done it with the money that you're currently taking. I want to know where all this road money's going.
Here's the fucking problem. This fucking dizzy ass, daffy ass, fucking terrible bitch of a politician has fucking terrorized our state. And yet, after she's done with all of this, and I'm pointing at you again, voters, everywhere in this country, that daffy ass bitch and dumbass is going to be up for bigger and better things because she did such a great job with Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
I would not be surprised, and quote me right now, within the next 20 years, she's going to be a fucking presidential candidate. And it's going to be sad as fuck because she's a terrible person and politician.
Yes.
Wait, she's a great politician, terrible person. Sorry. Let me get that right.
Probably.
Because being a politician does not mean you're a great person.
Definitely not a great person.
To be a great politician, you probably have to be a shitty fucking person.
Definitely not a great person. Great politician because somehow she's got people fucking snowed. Or has figured out a system to just win.
Or letting her fuck her in the ass. One of the two.
All of the above.
Because let's face it, old fucking dudes like that.
Yeah. Well, you don't become stretching Gretchen by accident.
So kudos. You played the game. But am I right? Like, she's going to be like still in the political scene for like a long time on the national level after all of this, even though she's just tormented us here in Michigan for the last all of her terms.
Well, they took the time during COVID to introduce her to a national audience and say what a great job she was doing here while she's fucking killing everybody.
Does not care about local business, small business, people in general, anybody. Cares about herself, cares about her interest, cares about the people that are going to get her elected to her next position. That's it.
Right.
Open your eyes, people.
And
that's it. I don't get political often, but
no, but this is one of those things when I found out they might start taxing us per mile, I was really like, okay, it's time to get the golf cart back out for the summer.
Sure.
And have a side-by-side in the winter. And unless I've got to go like out of the area,
Yeah.
drive that.
No, I agree. Shit, I would be tempted to circumvent it and buy side by side to drive to work every day too and take the back roads. Like, I'm cool with that.
So I don't know what,
I think we all should.
The bottom line is tax the people per mile that are getting the electric vehicles and just leave everybody else alone.
Right.
Because what this is going to do is raise it for everybody. It's going to raise it for every single person. Because
And let me tell you what.
Because somebody wants to drive around a car that doesn't make noise when they drive.
And once one of these percentages, like taxes or anything, go up, they never, ever go down.
And chances are they'll say in
never,
the study,
ever go
they'll be
down.
like, well, we're going to do a smaller per mile tax and leave the gas tax on there.
Yeah, that's eventually what they do. But if you look at the numbers and if you comb them, it's going to be beneficial for them. I guarantee it every single time.
Because
They are all snake oil salesmen. They just want you, and they will tell you numbers. They will get you to believe, just like even locally with what I have problems with and my taxes here in the village of Deckerville with the fire department, which once again, shame on you. Shame on you for fucking over a lot of people here in the village of Deckerville. But it's going to be beneficial to somebody, and they'll make it sound like they're doing you a favor. We're doing you a favor. We are doing you a favor.
this is
We
going to
sit
be
here
so
on a
much better for
podcast
you.
and we can't even make $4, and they can make $4 billion. Yeah, because it's going to be so much better for you.
We may have made $3 on the last one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, listeners.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Listeners, watchers, however you consume this crap.
Konnichiwa.
Consumers. That's what we have. Consumers.
Consumers.
But yeah, I'm not happy about this. Not in the least.
I'm not thrilled about it either. I'm not happy at all.
Well, how are they going to do it? Are you going to have to pay in every month? Are you going to have to pay in?
Well, they're gonna demand odometer readings from you, and if they can't get them from you, they're gonna send the police. And if they can't send the police, they're gonna send infringements upon your privacy, and they're gonna just tap into whatever vehicle you have and get it organically. And that's ultimately what they're gonna end up doing with new vehicles. They're gonna be like, reports to the government anyway. And that's what it is.
Well,
can't you tell me? They're going to tell you every vehicle sold after 2026 is going to automatically report to the vehicle, to the government, your mileage and what it is on it.
So, and here's the vicious circle of this. If, your car insurance always asks you, well, how many miles a year you drive? Well, I don't really know because I don't pay that much attention to it.
Right.
But I mean, there are people that drive a lot more than me, but for what I do, I feel like I put on a lot of miles. But you're going to have where, now car insurance is going to start basing off of what you pay in on taxes,
Right.
what they charge you, and everything's going to go up.
Because I can tell you this, the average driver in the United States, the average licensed driver in the United States that owns a vehicle puts on 9,000 miles a year. Think about this. That's why leases go 12,000 miles a year for lease. All of us out here in rural areas, you cannot touch anything under 20. If you do regular everyday driving for a job, then you're going to put 20,000 miles on a vehicle. Mm-hmm. I don't care who the fuck you are. You're going to put 15 to 20,000. So 9,000 is not realistic, which is why low mileage leases, when they advertise those, 12,000 miles a year. I fart 12,000 miles.
Yeah.
I put 12,000 miles on a vehicle in 6 months. So I go 25, 30,000 miles a year on a vehicle. It's just what I do. And I don't drive excessively. I don't have a long drive to work. It's just between everything in life and everything, that's what you put on a vehicle.
Well, by the time you drive to Bay City a couple times a month for something for the kids, you drive to Port Huron for recreation.
Because my truck just hit 90,000. I bought it 2 years and 4 months ago with 30,000. So yeah, I put 60,000 on. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
What a bunch of hooey.
Right? Like, how the fuck? You can't circumvent it. You have to live your life. It's like everything else. You can't get away with not. Like, we can't all have, which We can't all have state of Michigan jobs which allow them to work from home and not have to drive. I have to drive. My job, my everything, I have to drive there physically. So unless you present me with a teleporter, how the fuck am I supposed to get to my job every day and do what I need to do to make my living? But yet you want to tax me on that now.
And how are they going to do that? Is it going to be you're taxed a certain rate by the weight of your vehicle, or is it going to be, how is that going to work? Because let me use this as an example. If you're driving a Ford Fiesta or a Chevy Aveo versus like your truck or my Acadia
or my Mini Cooper
or your Mini Cooper,
right?
If you're driving something like that, you shouldn't be paying near the gas tax that a big old truck is.
No, because you're not consuming, you're not,
and
you're not pounding, you're not everything, you're not
right. Anybody with dualies on their truck should pay 10 times what everybody else pays, because fuck those guys.
First of all, unless you're hauling something, why are you doing that anyway?
Exactly. That is exactly my point. But you know what I mean? How are they going to calculate all this out? That's probably why they want to do a $20 million study. Is how do we squeeze the last little bit? The reason I mention that is, so, we both know Mr. Bays.
Yeah.
With his driving school, and he's using all Priuses for the driving school.
Yeah.
So he still buys gas, but it's cheaper for him because he's driving a hybrid vehicle.
Right.
So is now all of a sudden the amount of everything that he's going to have to pay goes up. So then does that in turn increase driving school fees? You would think it would have to.
Oh, it's going to. It's trickled. That's trickle down. Yeah, it's going to trickle down.
Yeah, and then somebody who uses their vehicle for work stuff that, they put a lot of miles on. Maybe they, I'll use my dad as an example. When he worked for Detroit Edison, he put a ton of miles on a vehicle in a year.
Right.
So, and he always, because he got reimbursed from Edison, he always drove I remember he had a Pontiac T1000 at one point, and he always drove small cars.
Yeah.
For Edison. And usually a hatchback was something that he could put all his crap in the back.
You're right.
And, but he drove small economical cars because he got reimbursed mileage. And so somebody who drives a lot like that uses that as part of their income or just how they operate.
Right.
They're going to get penalized on this too.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Huh.
Because you have to put in consideration the miles per gallon of a vehicle when you do that. And to me, it's just going to become a big, complicated mess.
No, it is. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't like it.
I already went on my big rant, so I'm not going to rant anymore.
Yeah.
I'm done ranting about it. I don't know. All I know is, I will say this. One last political note. Our current president, why did he have to choose to bite off so many things all at once, though? Because I don't feel like anything's actually getting done. I feel like he's going after everything all at once. And
I think what we're going to see, if it all works, who knows?
Right.
But if it all works, and I hope that it does because we need a break, but if it all works, you're going to see a massive change all at once. But
because it's not, the financial burden for me hasn't lessened at all. As a matter of fact, it's increased. So,
well, I don't know that it's increased for me.
Mine has slightly. Yeah.
But I think it's been pretty level because there have been some things that have went down a little bit, but other things that have went up. And
right.
But I think the important thing to remember here is he's got 4 very harsh years of stuff to fix.
Right.
And he's had 60 days to do it so far.
True.
So, and I think that there is just a tremendous amount of stuff to fix. Tremendous amount of stuff.
That's fair.
So one last thing here real quick, and just to kind of kind of go down the conspiracy theory side, when they released all the JFK files, I think it's kind of ironic that like everything that people were told they were stupid and crazy for is like, oh, yep, that's what happened.
I agree.
You know, yep, there was somebody on the grassy knoll. There was also a guy here. There was also a guy here. And just odd.
And these people got ostracized, though. Some of them.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them, like people, don't forget, and don't forget this. People that went against them, and we've come a long ways now because the government generally doesn't just off you. But back then in 1963 and the following years, they would just make you disappear.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, we've come a long ways, like conspiracy theory wise and everything else. We've come a long ways, folks. We can do these things. We can spew these things. We can have a true freedom of speech, even though we were always granted that. I feel like now, like, we know fellow people in other podcasts that some of the shit they say now might be pretty accurate, but had they propped that back in 1965, they might not be around.
Yeah. It'd have been a short podcast.
Right. What a short podcast.
Wow, that was great, but it was only 5 episodes. 5.5.
Well, you see, the P decided to defect and the A disappeared. So there you go.
They made a nightmare out of his Mini Cooper.
So anyway, yes, I guess we've delved a little more into the things I like to. I don't mind. I get a little worked up about them, but I also like. Fuck, man. Fuck.
Yeah.
Are we truly living in a free country?
Oh, God, no.
I know. It's fucking ridiculous.
No, when you... There would be so many better ways to do things. But at the same time, to tear down the system that we have would be devastating for a lot of people, too.
It would be. There'd be people that would not know how to live.
No. So...
Yeah, but anyway, Matt, tune in next time. No, Jesus Christ.
Next time.
So we're gonna. I don't know what we're gonna do. Next episode will be happier. It
can't be sadder,
right? Because this one was pretty a fucking Debbie Downer. Jesus Christ. This is what Cookie meant when he meant I missed the old P&A Podcast Express.
On the next episode, we'll be talking about Arnold going to the bike shop and getting touched.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll invest some time in that, and we'll certainly look forward to that, Adam.
I think we can skip that.
Because I don't want to talk about it. That really that had quite a profound influence on my childhood, actually, watching that episode. They used to try to scare the fuck out of us when we were kids. It was about the weirdest things.
Dude, even like the Fresh Prince had some dark ass episodes.
Right? Some very dark ass episodes.
But I mean, different strokes of all things. I mean, come on. I mean, to be honest, a name like Different Strokes kind of makes sense. They'd have a molestation episode.
Kind of lends itself to having an episode about some moral ambiguities of weird stuff. Like, Jesus Christ.
What you doing, Mr. Dudley? That was his name, by the way.
Right. What was the one with Ricky Schroeder?
Silver Spoon.
Yeah, Silver Spoon. That one was fucking weird too. That had some weird. That is some weird. So when 80s sitcoms decided to deliver a message, they did not do it with kid gloves. They just fucking.
Yep.
It just went all in. Like, holy shit. 80s sitcoms. That's how we should probably deliver messages now, though. That's probably
And there needs to be that one guy out there that's typecast as the pervert. He plays the pervert on every show.
This poor guy is going to never live it down the rest of his life. Be like, I got paid. Pay that man a lot. Pay that man a lot.
He ain't working again. He ain't working again.
And you when they see him in public, people are going to spit on him. They're going to fucking kick dirt at it and shit. But I tell you what, I got paid. I never did any of those things, but I got paid.
Why you touching Punky Brewster, man? What's she ever do to you?
Why'd you stick your finger up Pikachu's ass?
Oh. I watched that episode of the Teletubbies and I was never the same.
God damn it. Right? You were morphing into more than a Power Ranger.
Poor Poe.
Never stood a chance. Oh, shit. Well.
Oh.
Should we probably get out of this one now?
We should have been out of this one a long time ago.
This episode never should have happened. So.
No.
Wait.
Yes, the more you know now. From the Renaissance Center to the Renaissance era. We covered a lot in this episode.
A lot of nonsense. A lot of, oh, fuck.
I hit that by accident, but it's about time.
No, it's time. Well, he's Adam Filkins. I'm Phil Nickel. Thank you for listening to the P&A Podcast Express. And don't delve too deep into these rabbit holes.
No.
You can get really, 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 really lost.
Luckily, I've already forgotten what we were talking about.
I have no idea, but if you want to clue me in, you can tell me. Or maybe I'll just disappear like JFK, CIA, Israel 65 style.
Yeah.
And I'll be gone. I hope not. I really hope not.
Actually, we're going to have to go back now and redact a whole bunch of this podcast.
We're just going to have to black marker redact all of this goddamn podcast. Fuck. That seems like a lot of work. But from all of us here at the P&A Podcast Express and from the Palm Street Studios, make good choices.